that lowers tariffs on beef, coffee, and more than 100 other food products. The CEO of the Food Industry Association, an industry group of grocers, remarked, quote, "Today's action should help consumers whose morning cup of coffee will hopefully become more affordable," as well as U.S. manufacturers, which utilize many of these products in their supply chains and production lines. Meanwhile, the White House announcing yesterday that they are making big progress on prices. The memo notes that they are reversing years of mismanagement under Biden, who spent years insisting inflation was transitory while doling out trillions in new spending. Since day one, the Trump administration has been on a mission to tame Biden's inflation crisis, stop the sky-high Biden price increases, and lower costs for everyday families, the White House document notes. And while it can't happen overnight, evidence shows that the trend is in the right direction. The trends are heading in the right direction, as you can see here. Overall inflation down, grocery prices down, gas prices down. And this trajectory is important because there is no question this will be an election-defining issue and a central talking point for the left, for the media.
Affordability, affordability, affordability.
Affordability has been the main issue for Americans now for quite some time.
Well, what about this? What about that? What about Donald Trump? And he said, all I'm going to do are my 4 affordability planks.
The message was affordability, and that was clear and consistent.
Affordability, 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 and that message was a big winner.
Peter Navarro is the White House senior counselor for trade and manufacturing. He joins us from the White House. Peter, welcome. Big news yesterday with the rolling back of tariffs on 100 products. What motivated this decision?
Well, welcome back to your old house here, Kayleigh. We miss you, and I'm glad your Saturday gig is going so well. It's very simple. In the fight, we have a lot of products on that exemption list, which we simply don't make. I mean, we don't make coffee to speak of. We don't make cocoa to speak of. And that was a good reason to exempt them from the tariffs. And then you take something like beef. I think that underscores the issue that will define the election in 2026. The Democrat hoax, Kayleigh, they want to blame us for Biden's legacy inflation, and then they want to argue that their way is better when we know it's not. And that's the thing. We'll be talking about this right up to November of 2026. But the problem, like, let's think chicken versus cattle, right? We had a severe chicken crisis that we inherited because Biden literally slaughtered over 100 million chickens in an overreaction to avian flu, right? But it only takes 45 days from egg to broiler in the supermarket to get chickens going. So we went at that, and that problem is solved. All those prices dropped dramatically. The problem with cattle, though, beef, it's a 1.5 to 2 year cycle. We're doing everything possible to move that along, but people are still paying too much for hamburgers. So we get that. The thing I want to assure everybody out there is that President Trump and everybody in this White House feels people's pain. We know that things are too expensive. But what we're going to do, Kayleigh, is tackle these sectors one by one by one. You got shelter, which the housing, which is a huge issue, transportation, food. The shelter thing's really kind of interesting. That again has these long legs. It takes 18 months for the data and everything to catch up with reality. But a lot of the problems we have, Kayleigh, interesting enough, particularly in the metro sections, is the illegal immigrants. Do this math. For every 1 million illegals that came into this country, drives up rent by 1%. So if we've got 10 to 20 million illegals, that's 10 to 20% alone upwards in rent. And it gets worse because that's a national average. But if the way it's distributed, you get more like in the sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York, you feel that much, much more. Ergo, we get people like Mondami asking for rent control and free stuff. So we understand all this. We're attacking this. For the housing crisis, it's all about supply, supply, supply. That's what we need. For the health care issue, we've got an Obamacare, which is not really a health care system. It's an inflation engine because of the way it's structured. Kayleigh, every time we increase subsidies for Obamacare, who wins? It's the hospitals, insurers, and the pharmacy benefit managers because of the structure of Obamacare. So this is going to be job number one. It has been job number one, getting this down. The last thing I'd say, Kayleigh, when you think about affordability, it's really important to understand that it's got two things to it. It's the price of things, but it's also how much you're earning. And what Donald Trump is the king of is driving up real wages, which means wages go up faster than inflation. During the first term, we went up 8% in real wages. During Biden's term, he went down 3%. So that's a huge double-digit swing. So we are engaged fully on this. We'll be talking a lot over the coming months, sector by sector by sector. We will show you how we're going to get there, but people have to be patient in certain areas like housing and beef and hamburger, just because it's going to take us a long time to push that Biden legacy inflation out. Everything Biden did was inflationary. Every single thing.
Yeah, you're right, Peter. He took inflation. You handed him 1.9%. He took it to 9.1%. President Trump has brought that down. And that was a great overview of all that you're working on. Peter Navarro, really appreciate you taking the time. Good to see you.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.